Hello, everyone. I'm back. Yes, I'm back. So, real quickly, I just want to talk about it's something I've been thinking about to you know, explain as someone who has been training for a long, long time and still discovering myself. I'm only 28 years old, so I'm just trying my hardest to still be a student in everything. So, I just wanted to talk about really something I learned just hearing from other people's experience about dealing with anger and pride. Someone says it's okay to be angry because your anger protects your sadness, your emotions, your happiness. Your pride will destroy it. We think angry and pride are two different things, but no, are the same thing, but reality they are two different things. I view um, pride as the engine of your car and anger as the battery of your car, right? Because yes, overall, pride is there, but without a battery, it's just as important as an engine, right? An engine does cost a lot more. It does do a lot more things compared to the battery, but the battery is still important. The battery is the main thing that keeps the car functioning, as well just as the engine. And you know, especially I'm speaking to the men right now. Some of the men, we're more prideful than we are angry. You're going to be more willing to protect your pride than protect your happiness in a way. So if you are if someone says something to you, there's a lot of things you could do to not react. Most of the time, you will get hurt in the pride that you will get hurt in your heart, if that makes sense, right? Because you walk around not just, carrying your heart on your sleeve, but you walk around, with your aura, your pride, surrounding you, protecting you, as it away. So reason why a lot of arguments, a lot of fights happens is because the pride was hurt and the ego was this, and that's how it happens. Every single time you go on social media, it's always just a bunch of men fighting on the street, bunch of people fighting. It's because they do not know how to control their ego and pride. That is why it's not always anger. It is not always, sadness or disappointment. It is always pride, and to me, as a way. And me, being a man, I'm still learning to, control my pride, and just not everything needs a response. Not everything needs to be taken seriously. Not everything needs to be, highly investigated, whatever it was towards you or not. Some things are just better off just being left alone and just keep it pushing. And sometimes it's not. I'm not saying you need to walk around and just any inconvenience happen to you, you should brush it off. No, you're a human. It's okay to have these emotions. It's okay to have this. It's okay to feel angry, sadness, happiness. But it's never okay to be so prideful that a little bit of hearing a word no is going to set you off. Because that's not anger, that is pride. Because if it's something so small, inconvenience, it's not going to trigger your anger. It's going to trigger, your pride. As someone who works at the airport, I can tell you right now, your pride gets tested a lot. Not by the customers, by the other people working at the airport. You got people cutting in line. You got people trying to do this to you, try to say that to you, talk about this, and that in an airport. Now, how you handle it is up to you. I'm not saying that you need to be a saint. I'm not saying I'm a saint myself. Sometimes I do lose a little bit of my temper, but I try to remain composed. Same like everyone else. And it does hurt. It does hurt when someone is trying to test you, this, test you, your manhood, your womanhood, your adulthood. Doesn't matter, what it is. They're trying to think you are a coward or a punk. In reality, you have nothing to prove to yourself. Point blank simple. You have nothing to prove but yourself. If someone goes around saying, oh, you're this, you're that, it is not true. Depending on how you handle it, you don't need to. If someone right now social media was cursing me out, I most likely will look at it and decide if I want to respond or not, depending on what they're talking about me about. But not everything needs to respond. It does not mean that you are guilty. It does not mean that you are cowering away from whatever they're talking about you about or whatever it is. It just shows that as you get older, you're less tolerant or less willing to just head dive into just ignorance and stupidity. I have done that a lot. We have family members that love to call you out or to say things. It's okay to sit back and just breathe and calm down. Meditating has helped me a lot, over the past couple months. Just breathing, listen to meditation videos, just sitting down, relaxing, just taking deep breaths in, long exhales out, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, words have power. I want you to understand that. Words have power. That whole sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. My grandma told me words have power. Look what's going on today. Look what's going on in the world right now. No, think about it. All it takes is one person to get on a podium, on a microphone, and say whatever, and someone will come and listen and willing to hear what they got to say. That's it. So, once again, I'm not saying that you need to always take a beating or you need to take, verbal beating. You don't need to always do that, because I know that feeling, like you defend yourself, especially you like me, like other people are like me. Like when you defend yourself, you feel bad because you feel like, hey, I never was showed up to anyone else. Well, the thing is, you feel bad because you're like used to dealing with that and just walking away, right? You defend yourself, you're giving back that same aggression, which nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. I used to feel bad all the time. I'm getting into an argument with someone at work or getting into an argument with someone on the street. I feel bad when I'm like verbally defending myself, because usually I wouldn't feel like I'm stooping to their level. I think that's why most people feel bad when you defend yourself. You're stooping to their level. In reality, you're not. You're simply letting them know, I'm not going to be at this level. I'm not going to let you keep trying to drag me down. And I'm not going to constantly let you disrespect me verbally, in a sense. So what I mean by that is, it's like, it's okay to defend yourself verbally. Nothing is wrong with that. Because your anger or your confusion or what you're feeling in your heart and not in your pride or your ego is what's protecting your happiness, your sanity, and what is keeping you whole. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to have an outlet to release your anger. It's never okay to bottle it in. It's okay to let it out. I'm not saying scream to the top of your lungs, but I'm saying, like, hey, whatever is happening, either create a space for you to breathe out for a couple minutes, or simply just ignore it. Like I said, not everybody needs a response. Not everybody needs energy into it. It's all up to you. So the next time you ever enter like a weird confrontation or something's happening, you have a choice to either defend yourself or keep it moving. But I do not ever want y'all to think like having a verbal defense for yourself is bad. Unless you are in the wrong, then you should never feel bad for like defending yourself if you know you're just trying to do your part and try to be a good person. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.